Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pop Go the Writers. I don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here. How's everybody going? I hope everybody's had a good Thanksgiving. Jim, how about you? Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did, and I got to say, I'm very thankful to live in a country that just about once a month I can watch a Godzilla marathon on Comet TV, and it's going on right now.
Ah, do you want to step away from the show and finish your
That's
marathon?
okay. It's
With
not like
your
I've
priorities.
never seen these movies or anything.
Hey, Amy, good to see you. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. All right,
Yes, I had a good Thanksgiving, and I hope you did too.
I did. It was a small Thanksgiving. My nephew who lives with us and his brother and sister-in-law and their kid went out to Arizona to have Thanksgiving with my brother and his wife, their mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just my mom, myself, and my ex-wife came over,
Mm-hmm.
which because my life is weird.
Mm-hmm.
We had been invited to my ex-girlfriend's house, but we went with this one instead. And,
Wow.
yeah. Both my ex-wife and my ex-girlfriend will be over for Christmas. But
hey, if you can do it, go for it.
I ended up making chicken a la king.
Yeah, I think I saw a photo of that.
Yeah, which is the first time I've made it since my father passed. It was a dish my father had worked when the pandemic started. I went, I'm going to need to learn to cook because I can't let my parents go out and eat like they always did. Yeah. I said, so I need to start making food, and I can't just cook for myself because they can't go to the store.
Yeah.
So, and my nephew was here, so suddenly I'm learning how to cook, and I asked everybody for one dish they wanted me to learn. My nephew picked Szechuan pork and asparagus. No, he picked Szechuan pork and green beans. But when I found out you could substitute asparagus, I went, hell yeah. My dad picked chicken a la king, and my mom picked, she wanted fried fish. So this week I decided to make all those things. So
not all at once, though, right?
No. I made chicken a la king on Thanksgiving, made fried fish last night, fried tilapia, and the Friday before I made the pork and asparagus because my nephew was going out of town that Saturday morning. So
it's good to know that you're earning your keep.
Yeah, I've been doing that in crocheting and making hats now.
You're gonna make somebody a good wife one of these days.
So it seems. Yeah, I've got these skills now, and I'm single. I don't know how that happens.
Wow.
But then I keep my ex-wife, my ex-girlfriend around, so that may be part of it.
If you had only learned these abilities sooner.
Yeah, all this stuff I've learned the last couple of years.
Yeah,
like crocheting, I just learned in February, and I've made like 3 small blankets, 3 scarves, a hat.
Well, that last photo you put up of that set, I mean, it almost made me want to order one right there and then. I almost contacted you and said, where can I put my order in?
I'm actually thinking
very nice.
I think I'm going to start doing that. I've got some extra yarn and whatnot that I'm going to start putting some sets together and making them available.
The heck with writing, Dan. I think this is your calling.
Yeah, well, I'm like I said, I've been picking up yarn and stuff like crazy. So,
who'd have thunk
it? Yeah, I know. This is Lisa, my ex girlfriend. She's my best friend too, so I should stop calling her ex-girlfriend. She's the one that got me into crocheting now, and now I crochet more than she does.
You ought to start doing some genre-themed crocheting projects, and then it'll all come together.
I may do that. I may figure out how to do that because that's a little trickier.
Yeah, sure. Make little Grogu's. you'd be rolling in it, man.
I've got a kit that Lisa's kids bought me, and it's to make little Marvel figures about this big that you crochet. And I
Mm-hmm.
haven't done it yet, but I'm going to.
Okay.
So if I
I
start
want to.
making those,
I want a stingray, please.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I'll have to figure out the pattern for a stingray. But
Okay.
let me
Somebody somewhere in this wonderful wide world has made a stingray crochet pattern. You know
I'm, I'm,
damn
I'm,
well they have.
I'm sure they have. I would not be surprised. But
Would not be surprised.
that's a little tiny yarn, and these big ass hands haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
But soon, that's going to be a soon project. So
Well, I want a full size, stingray costume that I can wear, but crocheted. Come on, the wings, you could totally do that,
oh yeah.
And the hood.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll see what I can come up with. I'll need measurements, and I'll need
Okay.
I'll let you know how much yarn I'm going to need. So
Okay. Lots of red and white yarn.
yes, yeah.
Mm.
All right, let's go ahead and get off of the crocheting.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, we got the Marvel theme though. At least there's that.
yeah. What's funny is during the week, I when I do the Dan Wickline show, I do a cold open, and I usually just joke around or
Mm.
And one day I did okay, and I had my crocheting like today I'm going to show you an extended single crochet. The difference here is you do one extra loop over. So let me show you how it's. And then I went, oh wait, you guys want to talk Andor? Okay, we'll do that instead. And I just tossed the thing aside. I came back, and they're all going, we would totally watch you do a crochet show. I'm like, what?
You should have said what Andor character would be most likely to start crocheting.
Cyril,
Yeah.
without a doubt,
Yeah.
Cyril. He's
Yeah.
that anal. I could see him like.
I was thinking of the droid, the like
B2,
whose name I can never remember.
B2 emo.
Is it emo or what?
B2 EMO.
Yeah,
B2
that's it.
emo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Do you want to talk Andor first?
Yeah, because I'm very excited about Andor. Even
right.
even though it's over, I'm still excited about it.
Okay. That worked out. First thing I'm going to say, scoreboard. I don't think Cyril's going to the rebellion. I think he's staying with the Empire now.
I still think he is. Because although I will say that, I mean, that's the one part of this whole thing that I can't really say what's going to happen next, like with those two. But I still think eventually he ends up with the rebellion. And yeah, I could be completely wrong. How is it that you want to put spoiler alert up?
Oh, yeah, good idea. It's been almost a week, but that's still a good idea.
Yeah. I know people who are still saying, "Oh yeah, I'm halfway through Andor." How is it that everybody was able to walk away alive from that episode? Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I thought we would lose somebody. Well, we did lose that one guy who runs the junkyard.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he counts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't tell you what his name is or anything, but I
Purgo?
mean, huh?
I think it's Purgo.
Okay, I'll take your word for that. I mean, even Mr. Drummer guy got out of it, and he was able to notch his drum there for at least one stormtrooper.
Yeah, that's the job I want.
Yeah.
Except for maybe not climbing the tower, but
what an amazing job of bringing all these threads together, and in just one explosive season finale. I'm just was loving that. The whole thing pleased me to no end.
Yeah, I'm blown away that not only did they get everything in, but they were actually bring back characters I didn't think we would see.
Mm-hmm.
We got, Marva got a good speech.
Yeah.
Clem got some time. We hadn't seen Clem since
Really.
early on.
Dead Clem.
Yeah. Brasso,
Yeah.
which
I think he really, as a character rose up. I mean, I know people are already kind of liking him, but after the episode is over, go online and practically seeing Brasso fan clubs popping up, left and right. That was really something, and the best part is he uses her brick and just starts smashing people around.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that was planned.
My only problem with Brasso is that I'm a fan of Only Murders in the Building, and Steve Martin's character Charles Hayden Smith or whatever, hit the TV show he was in, and they start redoing is Brazo. So every time I hear Brasso, I think of Brasso.
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah.
Are we crossing universes here?
I think
Is Martin Short going to show up soon?
Right?
But I was blown away by that finale.
Hmm.
I really was. I love the fact that the theme song for the show is the funeral dirge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved how they brought everybody into it, and the tension. I mean, this show has been ratcheting up tension every episode, but this was, I keep likening it to Shawshank, and that comparison, I still think that's a great comparison at this point, because it felt that tense.
Yeah. What do you feel surprised you the most? Like that you just weren't expecting, just kind of came out of left field.
I think that's the thing, is that maybe what you mentioned about nobody died.
Yeah.
But it felt right. All the characters felt like they were in character. There was nothing that just leapt out of character. Cinta killing the guy, the fact that Luthen mainly just watched and then got the hell out of there.
The cool thing about that is that here's Mr. I'm trying to get these different things going and everything, and then he witnesses a rebellion that he had nothing to do with. And I mean, I assume he had to be pretty happy, but in, deep down inside, was he a little bit jealous because he didn't have anything to do with that? I mean, it just literally happened, for the most part. But I thought that was really wonderful, that he goes there for one reason, and he gets a bonus rebellious act.
I don't know. I think that part of the rebellion was his, because he recruited Cassian, and Aldhani happened because of him.
Yeah.
And the reason that everything was ratcheted up empire-wise was because of Aldhani.
I know, but what I mean, that actual, fight and everything else. I mean, we assume he did not know Cassian's mother.
No. We can't assume that, because he knew Cassian. He wanted to meet Cassian. He had heard about Cassian,
but only because Bix told him.
No, he knew.
I bet he did not know his.
He knew all about Cassian. He knew his past.
Yeah,
and I don't even know if Bix knew all of his past.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, more directly, he did not instigate that little battle. The guy with the bomb, he didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, I don't know what Luthen was expecting, other than he was hoping that he could kill Cassian, get him out of the way.
No, he didn't start it, but it was his actions that did lead to that, because the guy with the bomb blew it up because the guy The one that ran the junk, or the original junkyard owner that worked with Bix,
Mm-hmm.
was taken in because of the communicator at that Luthen had put there.
Sure, sure.
So,
well, one of the things I was a little surprised about, but I mean, I don't think it was wrong or anything, but that Dedra was on the street, that she went out and got, got onto street level.
mm-hmm.
And then it's interesting because she paid for it. You should have seen me. By that point, I was so into it. And she whips out her gun there and then gets the thing thrown at her head, and she goes down, and here's me at the on the edge of my couch going, hit her, come on, get her, punch her again, like
Yeah.
she's a love to hate type person.
Well,
I was just so glad that she took a few knocks there, because she really deserved a lot more than that.
I think she's a perfect embodiment of the ISB and the Empire at that point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In that, and we hear it in Nimic's manifesto that narrates over it, how they're so used to, they assume everybody's in fear, that they've become bloated, they've become cocky. They don't really look at these people as a threat.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
She sees a rebellion as a threat, but she sees a planned rebellion, not a spontaneous one like this was.
Yeah.
Though you kind of get the feeling Marva had it planned. Her speech.
I would assume so. I mean, she had to realize when she was recording that, and then to end up with this impassioned, fight the Empire. I mean, yeah. I could just see her ghost kind of being disappointed as she yells that out, and everybody just kind of, looks at the hologram and shrugs and then moves it. I would assume that Brasso had watched that, her hologram. He knew what was coming. It made me wonder how many people right there knew what she was going to say. Like, do we feel that Brasso figured that a fight would break out, or that he would try to push it along? Or what? That's an interesting, little point for me. Like, how spontaneous was that? I mean, the bomb obviously moved things along, of course.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to leave that. I mean, we don't know for sure. Mm-hmm. My guess is that it was mostly spontaneous, that maybe he didn't know what her recording was going to be, because nobody brought weapons.
Right.
The bomb kid was upset because they had killed his friend, the guy who owned the,
Yes.
But other than that, nobody brought weapons. And if you're going to rebel, you might want to put a weapon on.
Yeah.
A gun, a bat, something, and they were just fighting with sticks and things, picking up that they could.
Yeah, it was the Ewoks all over again, right?
It was
the Ewoks and the Gungan. See, that's what I love is there's these recurring themes all throughout Star Wars, is the lesser force up against the larger, more impressive force, and the smaller force, wins. I mean, it's the American Revolution kind of all over again. So I assume that the Emperor was told about Eldani. I think they even say somewhere through this thing. So does he get to hear about this little
fight? I think there's going to be massive fallout.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see how Dedra spins it.
Yeah.
And if Cyril it helps her in that.
If she goes back, I mean, do we assume that? I mean,
yeah, I think the ISB is her life.
But something has to change somehow with her after that, because there's a hint of it where basically she's forced to say thank you to Cyril. So something needs to change in her, even if it's slight. The way she moves forward has got to be different now. Who knows if she was ever really in a fight before? I don't know, how much an ISB, officer, if they've seen any combat or anything like that. I assume she's not old enough to have been in the
Wars.
Clone Wars. No.
No. I'm going to guess here from a writer point of view. I could see Tony Gilroy doing this and teaming her with Cyril for the purpose of humanizing the enemy, humanizing the ISB. She's going to have doubts now. She's going to start questioning some of her decisions.
Yes.
I think Cyril is going to be there with her to kind of Lady Macbeth her. He's going to be the one going, no, you can do this. You got this. This is what you got to do. That's what you got to do. And I think we're going to see the two of them rise and fall in the ISB.
So she's going to, why would she continue to have contact with him? And I'm not debating that will happen, but is it, do you think it's because just because he saved her life?
I think partly it's that.
She's a cold fish. I mean, she said the way she said it was, I guess I should thank you or something to that effect. She just doesn't come right out and say thank you, but she says something like she's begrudgingly having to thank him. But
well, honestly,
I totally agree with you. Go ahead.
Of the two of them, I could see her changing sides more than him. Because I think what's happened is that this event and her almost losing her life will open her eyes to things that she didn't think of before, to look and say, well, what is my life? What's in it? What's not? And she sees a kindred spirit in Cyril. And I could see the two of them becoming an item. But like I said, I think Cyril is singularly focused on capturing Andor, doing the right, what he thinks is the right thing, where I think now she's going to start questioning it. And I think so they're going to be kind of the humanizing side of the ISB going forward.
Here's my guess, and I just came up with this. He is without ties right now. He's not part of that force, that he used to be, and he's definitely does not want to go back to his mother on Coruscant. He's without ties. I suggest that he suggests to her that they have to find Andor in a different way, and that maybe she actually goes off the grid, maybe goes rogue, and they together start using dirtier tactics or undercover to get to Cassian. And while they're on that journey, they start to see what the rebellion is. Maybe they, even going so far as to go under cover as rebels, and then start to live the life to the point where they both jump ship at the end.
I don't see Cyril jumping ship.
Okay. All right.
I don't see the redemption arc for him.
Okay. But okay, see, the alternative is he just remains a jerk. I mean, I don't know. It's sort of a one note thing then, I mean, does he ends up dead?
Some characters have arcs, some characters serve purpose. Okay. And I think his purpose will be to move her arc along.
I mean, she's a main character now, and I would almost say he is too. Okay, I think it's just because now those two have really stepped up a bit in my interest level and become even more fascinating to me. I didn't really care much about him before. She's fascinating to watch just as a total a-hole, so very, 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 very interesting. You know what's funny is I walked away from that finale, and it's nothing against Diego Luna, but it was almost as if everybody else was more interesting than Andor there at the very end. Although he sort of redeemed himself by going to Luthen and saying, "Go ahead and kill me or take me in."
Yeah.
That was a good moment. That was a very good moment.
Yeah. I thought that was a great moment, but I think the line of the move of the entire series was the uh, I love him more than anything he could do wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like that for me that's up there with what is
Yeah.
what is grief but love persevering.
Yep. Yes. Yep. I agree.
And it's like, okay, yep, that's the line of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last year it was a Vision. Now we get
Yeah. Yes.
Mavra gets it, or
Yeah.
Mavra through Brasso.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year or next season.
Yeah, be careful what you say there. I think it's supposed to be we were going to be waiting for a while, just like with Rings of Power.
Well, they're supposed to start filming it like right now.
Yeah, I think it actually did start, although
Yeah.
it's not that far into it. But yeah, but you know how these. I mean, I don't know. I bet you it goes longer than a year. I mean, look at Mandalorian. You
It
know?
might, but I think that the reason I said year wasn't because of that, but because of the way they're doing the show. As you know, the next season is going to be 4 3-episode arcs covering 1 year.
Right. Right.
To get us from where we are right now to the beginning of Rogue One.
Right.
So
we do have a time jump coming.
I'm assuming we're going to have a sort of a time jump.
Yeah.
You know, but and I think what we did was I think season 1 was pretty much things happening around Andor, where season 2 will be more. He will be more proactive. He will be the protagonist.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, and before we forget her, Mon Mothma, I'm surprised at a lot of people. That scene in the car with her husband, it begins, and I got it almost immediately, and then I go online and I see all these people who that went way over their head.
Yep.
And it's like, no, like the Imperial guys even reinforced that by saying, that's maybe where the money's going. Her husband.
She sold out her husband, basically, or not sold him out, but set him up.
I love it. Yeah, she throws him under the bus. This is interesting. She's at a point where she's severing ties to her family.
Mm-hmm.
The daughters now introduced, and we assume that pact is being made, that marriage pact, and I love it. You know, that Perrin, or whatever the hell his name is, he's, well, you know what clued me in is that, and I give credit to the actor, she starts in on the, I can't believe you're doing this, and blah blah blah, and the way he really conveyed like honest shock at what she was saying, and that was what got it for me right there. I'm like, wow, he really doesn't know what the heck she's talking about here. I mean, the actor really conveyed that really, really well, and the dialogue and everything. And it's like, oh, she's throwing him under the bus. Wow, she's clever. Yep. So I go online, and really all people are worried about is what she wears when she becomes part of the rebellion. And it's like, what? Like, well, number one, she's keeping up appearances, and you know what I mean? As a senator, of course she's going to dress very nicely and everything. Don't worry about what the heck she wears when she's on the run with the rebellion. God.
Honestly, I think this is the best Star Wars project, storytelling wise, and they did so by being as far away from Star Wars as possible. I mean, we got one space battle, and the fights and stuff were very different than we normally get in Star Wars. It was just, it harkens to some of the more, You'd almost think Daniel Day-Lewis was playing Andor.
Good comparison. So you're saying he had a Last of the Mohicans vibe to it.
I was thinking of, was it the Streets of New York or whatever it is, where he's got the big mustache? It's like
Okay.
20th century New York.
I was thinking of Last of the Mohicans because they're the battles and the guns and everything in that are presented pretty realistically compared to what we would been used to in that. But I totally get that. That's fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it's that type of storytelling that he's known for. So
I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit more, fighting and battles in the next season. I don't know, as we get closer to Rogue One.
Yeah. Tony Gilroy said that 30 characters are being carried over.
Wow.
Now you can count a lot
everybody.
Just about. I mean, you can count the ISB, most of the characters from the ISB. All the rebels that we've met so far have made it out.
Yep.
Vel, Cinta, and still, Cinta's got to be a sister because they never went back to that story.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And
that's, I think I brought it up before. If that's the case, I don't know. It's a little kind of too coincidental that he would run into her the way he did, and be on the team with her for Eldani, and but then they've separated them again, and I thought for sure he'd run into her there and then on Ferrix, and then that didn't happen. So obviously there's a lot more that needs to be said about those characters. I mean, there's a nice little web as far as Vel is Mon Mothma's cousin, but she worked with Andor, and then she's in a relationship with Cinta, and Cinta might be Andor's sister. I'm really looking forward to Cassian and Mon Mothma finally meeting. That should be really something.
Well, I look at the women introduced in this series, and there's only two that fit the description or fit the physical characteristics of the girl we saw, and those would be Cinta and Bix.
I hope it's not Bix, because I feel like then we got a Luke and Leia thing going on there.
Yeah.
Right?
Plus, what are the odds that he would end up on the same planet as his sister?
Yeah.
If Mavra didn't take her.
Yep.
So that's why I'm leaning Cinta. Now, it could be it's going to be somebody else altogether. That's always possible.
Yeah.
But
I'm starting to wonder with the possible time jump with second season, if we might, by the next time we see Mon Mothma, if she's already made the jump.
No, I don't think so.
But in Rogue One, it appears that she's been with them, that she's not just come into.
No. I think it'll happen, but I think we'll see it. I don't think you leave that as an off-panel thing.
The reason I say that is that, and I didn't see it myself, but we as Star Wars fans have already seen that. It's in Rebels, as far as I'm aware. So, and I think I brought this up before. It's like, do they just duplicate that whole thing, or do they sort of retcon it? But I have seen some shots and stills and things or whatever where she's in the ship with the other people from Rebels, and I'm to understand that that's when she's finally making the jump. She's escaping her past life to go. So that's going to be interesting if they do that. They may
show us everything that leads up to it, and then just give us a glimpse of her on the ship with Hera Sindel and all them.
Okay.
And Kenan and stuff.
Okay. So then they'll have to have live actors as those animated.
Well, we're probably going to get them in Ahsoka anyway.
Yeah.
So,
well, that'll be interesting. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just, when you get to these points where you're crossing over that much with the animated show, I know how certain fans are very, very adamant
Yeah.
about preserving anything that happened in the animated stuff, and if they play with it, because it already supposedly happened with something, and I can't remember what it was. It was in the Tales of the Jedi. I think the last part with Ahsoka when she's at Padme's funeral. Supposedly they said it was somewhat rewritten from what we already knew.
Yeah, I've heard some complaining about that too. It's like, oh well.
Mm-hmm.
I look. Was there anything in the? I want to move on to Guardians next.
Yeah, sure.
But I wanted to hit one thing. Was there anything in the finale that you didn't like?
No. I thought the pacing was great. Bringing all the threads together. The world building was incredible. I kept thinking about that they kept building upon the society on Ferrix and their traditions, and this funeral, the march and the music and the traditions involved in that. No. I mean, I expected that a character would die, other than the other one guy or whatever. I mean, one of the ones that we've been following, really, and that's not a disappointment. It was just funny. It's like, oh wow, everybody walked away from this,
Yeah.
even the droid, even after getting tipped over,
Yeah. What about the post-credit scene?
We saw that coming. Come on, right? I mean, it was cool to have it, but we saw that coming. But how neat to see that, because that's like a good Star Wars moment. That's a big thing,
Yeah.
the Death
I,
Star.
I liked it not because it was an Easter egg or not because it was oh yeah, we're part of Star Wars. To me, it's because there's an irony to the fact that Cassian has, even in a small way, help in building the thing that kills him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's an
Right.
irony there.
Right.
Yeah. And all of this, if none of, I mean, basically Cassian's decision to try to find his sister is what all of this is about.
Mm-hmm.
That one decision is what's put him on this path.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that fascinating. So they are going to have to pay that off at some point.
Yeah.
The sister thing that has to pay off, or that is just going to be bad writing. But all right, we should switch over to the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special or holiday special. But I wanted to start with the fact that Marvel just about spoiled their one big surprise in it.
If you believe some people, that's what they do well. That supposedly they're always spoiling their own stuff. But
you know how they do Marvel Legends on Disney Plus, where they put out those little 7-8 minute.
I haven't watched one in quite a while because I realized it just goes over ground that I'm already familiar with. But yeah.
Well, this time it actually covered stuff that they hadn't gone over.
Oh.
And I think whoever put it together didn't realize, because the Gamora and Drax one, which are now off of Disney Plus, they pulled them. They had a deleted scene from Volume 2.
Oh, somebody was trying to tell me about this, and I wasn't really getting what they were saying. Okay.
So basically, there's a scene from. Do you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? There's a scene with Drax and. The deleted scene is Drax and Mantis. And basically, it's Drax asking Mantis, why don't you tell Quill you're his sister?
Right.
And she says, because, my only connection to him is his greatest shame, his father. So, no. So this deleted scene they took out. Now, of course, that's the big reveal, is that
Yeah.
he's,
Yeah.
she's also the child of Ego.
So what you're saying is basically James Gunn just refilmed that, because that's pretty much what that scene is in the holiday special, right?
In a sense, yeah. But
Okay.
this actually took place, would have taken place, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
Now, Gunn came up with the idea of doing the Christmas special during the filming of Volume 2 and pitched it and wrote it in like 3 days. So I'm wondering if that scene was cut because he wanted to save it for the Christmas
Save it
special.
for that. I think that's completely logical, sure.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, why else was Mantis there? Because I mean, they kind of give this flimsy idea in it that Ego found her and she helped him put his mind at ease and sleep. But it's like that doesn't make sense. And then when you see the panorama of in that weird thing where he was showing his history, there was one scene, one set of characters of Ego and one of her race kissing.
Oh, I think I missed that completely.
And then around the time that the original movie came out, an actress named Jennifer Sharp posted some photos online of herself and Kurt Russell in a scene, and she's done up in Mantis's race. I don't remember what race she is.
Huh.
And she says it was an honor to have done a scene with Kurt Russell, uh, as Mantis's mom, even though it was cut.
Wow, this is ages ago now, too. Wow.
So that would have spoilered it. But then when they put the legends out, they included the deleted scene.
Huh.
So now it's off of Disney Plus. So it's like
crazy.
Don't use that. So
yeah, how would that have gotten through? However many people that would have had to go. By the way, Mantis is, if I remember correctly, Vietnamese.
In the comics, she is.
In the comics, she is. Yeah. Although these days, I think they pretty much morphed her into what she is in the comics. Everything, or in the movies, or in the cinematic universe, that's what they pretty much do. Is the comics get changed to reflect the what's going on in the movies. In fact, there was something else I thought about the other day that's now very much just like the movies. Well, that's fascinating. Yeah, because I knew that there were James Gunn had said that there was a few things that set up the third movie that would be in the holiday special. I guess one of the other things is that now the Guardians own Nowhere.
Yes, they bought it from a collector, which tells us the collector is still alive.
Yeah, now that one, I was like, you mean the guy that Thanos killed? Like, what?
Well, that makes me happy because I still want a scene with all the elders of the universe together.
Yeah, me too. It makes me wonder if maybe the elders can't die. Maybe that's why he's still alive. But that was fascinating too. It was nice that it wasn't just a somewhat fluffy holiday story, that there was actually some actual developments in it.
Jay says, did he only keep her alive because she was useful? Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was. She was able to ease his mind and let him sleep. And if you ever suffer from insomnia, you would keep anything around that would help you sleep. So they're listing her as a celestial hybrid now on Wikipedia stuff, but she is from a insectoid-like race, is what they're saying. So in the comics, she's half Vietnamese and half German.
Yeah, right.
But in the MCU, she is alien.
Yeah, in fact, I think she was the daughter of one of the Zodiac in the comics, if I remember correctly. It's been a little while, but in fact, my first issue of Avengers that my dad bought me it has Mantis in it, and they're just starting to sort of unravel her past. And I remember getting that issue, and it's like I knew who Iron Man and Thor and those guys were, and it's like, who's this weird chick who like refers to herself in the third person, and they go up against the Star Slayer, if I'm not mistaken. But that's funny. This is all coming back to me now.
Yeah. So now we just need to get swordsmen from over on Hawkeye.
Right. We need to have the whole Celestial Madonna story.
Yep. So, no, I thought it was interesting that they almost blew the big reveal, but coming out of it, we meet, we get the fact that Cosmo is kind of part of the Guardians now.
Yeah, I love that, and it talks now.
Yeah, it's a female dog in the movies. It's a male dog in the comics, but it makes more sense to be a female dog because the only Russian dog to be shot into space was the first one, and that was a female dog.
Yeah,
that didn't come back.
A female dog with the name Cosmo.
Yeah, actually, I read up on the first dog shot into space, and they lied for a long time. They said originally that the dog had died from lack of oxygen.
Uh-huh.
So it just had a peaceful thing. In 2002, they finally admitted she died because the heat shields weren't good enough.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah, Cosmo's part of it now. I love Nebula's gift to Rocket.
Yeah.
There's so many questions.
She probably got the biggest like chuckles out of me. There was a couple different times where Nebula's saying something, and I love that, like, what does she yell, like, I'm coming after you, Bacon, or whatever. I give a lot of credit to Kevin Bacon for
he was great
with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw an interview with him. He said that the biggest surprise of his life was he went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy in the theater, and he's sitting there, and he was alone. His wife was out of town, so he's watching in the theater, and suddenly they're talking about him on the screen. So
imagine that.
Yeah. So afterwards, he calls up Kira and says, "So Guardians, we're gonna go see it when you get back." There's a little surprise in it. But yeah,
I wondered if that was his real wife on the phone.
It was Kira.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, his wife is an actress. Kira.
Well, I was going to say, because she didn't sound like a real person trying to do lines. It sounded like, that's what I said. Oh, they just got some actress to do the voice. But
yeah, no, they got her to do it. So
is that his real house?
No,
I wouldn't think so. I kept saying, no, he would probably say, guys, I'll be in this, no problem. I'll have my wife do the voice of her, herself. Not using my house.
If I remember correctly, he lives out in a rural area in Middle America. Like, I remember seeing footage of him on big sweeping open areas and stuff.
Okay.
So,
stupid me. I didn't realize he could sing.
Oh yeah, he's got the Bacon Brothers.
Okay.
He and his brother have a band.
I'm sorry, I don't follow these things. So, what? Speaking of singing and all of that, like this special was almost nothing but music. It's just music after music after music after music.
Yep.
Now I assume that is a real band, that rock band.
The old 97.
Okay, it was funny because it's like, because I'm like, yeah, this is a real band that they may have made up as aliens. You can,
Oh, that guy's arm. The way he was swinging his arm, he can do that normally. It's like, that's just weird.
Oh, I thought that was a special effect.
No, he can do that.
Okay.
But yeah, the band's called the Old 97.
Yeah, well, right away they're in the credits, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is obviously a band,
Yep.
What is the deal with Mark Hamill jumping ship and being in the?
That wasn't Mark Hamill.
I thought that was no, it wasn't. Why is everybody
You know,
saying that's Mark Hamill?
because they all thought it was because he
Oh,
looked like it. But no, that
well,
came out. I can tell you who it was.
okay.
He
It's
just
weird
went.
because they focus on him, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, Mark Hamill's son Nathan was the first to come out and say, "No, that's not my dad."
Huh.
Uh, let's see. Nathan Hamill came out and said it, and then an actor named Sin Smith came out and said that the actor's name is Troy Beecham.
Hmm.
So
But,
even though it looks like him, it's not Mark Hamill.
but Mark Hamill hasn't denied it yet, has he?
Yes, turns out Mark Hamill has an alias as Troy Beecham.
Yeah, it would be so great. I can see Mark, tweeting to his son, and saying, son,
Nope, nope, that was me.
well,
So,
yeah, I mean, that'd be funny if he did it in secret and didn't tell anybody, and it was just a big, surprise.
yeah, but
Wow.
you want to save Mark Hamill. You want him to be something bigger, you know?
Not everybody has to be in a Marvel
No,
production.
not
It's
everybody.
it's the
You know?
it's the modern equivalent to the Batman 66 TV series where
Yeah,
every actor wants to be part of it.
yeah. You can keep Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, but we want Mark Hamill.
Okay.
See, I'm telling you, I want if it's just a special, the Elders of the Universe special, and I want Benicio del Toro and Jeff Goldblum, and I
Mhm.
want to fill the rest with these kind of actors, and I want Mark Hamill to play the Collector or the Contemplator or one of those guys, and just fill it with all of these niche little,
The
uh,
Gardener.
yeah, the Gardener, yeah, these niche little actors,
Yeah.
and just have it be hilarious, you
Hey,
know.
who you calling a niche actor? Poor Mark Hamill.
Uh, but yeah, I think it'd be great to fill it with, actors like that.
Well, I bet you that's one of those things that we don't know yet. The open slots in Phase 6.
Yeah, you can have Kurt Russell come back, and
Yeah.
yeah, I love these specials. I think it's funny. I think two of my favorite things from Marvel this year
Mhm.
were the Werewolf by Night special and the holiday special. I mean, and that's not saying I didn't like everything else,
Mhm.
but I think those two and Moon Knight are my top three.
I would love it to know someday that both these specials were also a surprise to the high echelon in Marvel Studios. I mean, that they knew that they were good, but they once the reactions started coming in, that it's pretty much across the board. I've seen with the Guardians special that
Mhm.
everybody really enjoyed it. Paul Dini, you know who I mean?
Yeah.
He posted today that he
So
watched it and said, "This is probably my most favorite MCU thing yet." I was like, "Wow,
yeah.
okay."
Well, I mean, there was so many neat nods to the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I
Yeah,
know we all hated it,
yeah.
but it still got this kind of thing in our heart because it was only the second Star Wars thing we ever got,
Hmm, hmm,
and we got it in our houses,
hmm.
you know. So to have the little animated part, though, Gunn said that originally he wanted to do Ralph Baskin style, that the animation for it.
Yeah, it's rotoscoped.
Yeah, they
Is
ended up
what they
doing rotoscope because they couldn't do so they went rotoscope instead. But he originally wanted to do that Ralph Baskin, like
Yeah,
Frosty the Snowman rode off the Red-Nosed Reindeer style. But I think the rotoscope worked really well, and it
yeah.
reminded me of the no, that's no, Rankin Bass.
Ralph Bakshi
Is
is Felix the
the
Cat and Wizards and the Lord of the Rings movie.
Ralph, but he did the Boba Fett animated part of the Star Wars special.
That was Nelvana. I don't think he
Pretty
did
sure it was
that.
Bashki. I think it was Bashki.
Okay, well, maybe so. I mean, the company was called Nelvana, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you meant Rankin Bass.
Yeah, I was
Was
confused.
did the
Yeah,
claymation
yeah.
puppet
No, but he
animation?
was talking about Bashki, and I'm pretty sure that's who
Okay,
did
Yeah, but no, it reminded me of the Lord of the Rings animated movie that, it's
yeah,
basically just,
yeah.
they have people filmed people and then they just draw over. It was really nice to have I'm forgetting his last name, Michael
Rooker.
yeah, back. It's
Yeah.
just as soon as you hear that voice, it's like, oh yeah.
I'm fairly sure that Michael Rooker has been a part of every James Gunn project except for Peacemaker. He was in the Suicide Squad. He's been in all his movies, So they're like best friends. So,
right.
So yeah, he's always going to try to find a place to put Michael Rooker in.
Right, sure.
He's like, damn, I killed him. So flashback time. Yeah, I thought it was just really well done. Continuity wise, I don't know when Nebula took Winter Soldier's arm, and because that's not his old arm, that's his Wakanda arm, his vibranium arm.
What if it's just something that's fun and we're not supposed to worry about it at all? Because that's how I walked away from it. But they also know that they can't just put that in front of Marvel fans and walk away and say, don't worry about it. But yeah, my thought is that she had one made.
Yeah.
It
could have been that afterwards Wakandans were like, is there anything we can do for you? And yes, I want you to make an arm just like Bucky's.
Yeah. Or they just like, that's the other big question. Have you seen Wakanda Forever?
It's okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Riri Williams's suit that's towards the end of the movie, she makes in Wakanda, and then at the end of the movie they do not allow her to keep it.
Yeah.
So maybe that arm was the same thing. They did not allow him to leave with that arm, and he had to go get another arm made somewhere else,
Well, no, he had it in Winter Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Unless that was another arm made to look just like the vibranium arm. But no, you're right, because what's her face turns it off and it falls off of it. Yeah, you're right.
I see people online doing this thing where you've got Bucky sitting there with no arm and Sam coming in going, what happened?
They should have had that as the credit scene.
Explaining how he lost his arm. Yeah. Oh, that would have been hilarious. For him just showing up in Wakanda going with one arm going, there was this blue woman.
No, he should know Nebula, right? They fought together against Thanos, right?
Right.
Love it.
So he had been snapped and she'd been around. So the other Avengers know her. But he was gone, and then he came back, and then they left shortly after.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Karen Gillan that she has taken that character and really made something unique out of it.
Yeah.
And for the most part was never really supposed to be one of the forefront main characters, but now I find myself looking forward to any little Nebula-ness.
Oh yeah.
Because there's something about her delivery.
Yeah.
And that voice and it seems to me that what she's doing is nothing like the real Karen, at all. I don't know. She's just really, carved out something special in the MCU with it. And I don't know. So if I want to go so far as to say, like, I'd like to have her in her own series or anything like that at all, because maybe too much would be, too much. But I'll be looking forward to Guardians 3 to get more to get more Nebula.
All right, we're gonna have to wrap it up there, but I have one last thing to say about the special, which is I have massive respect for James Gunn resisting giving Kevin Bacon a dance scene.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought for sure we're going to have all of them dancing through nowhere, you know, yeah, a la Footloose, but they didn't do it. So
Well, we got Nebula dancing
true,
or
that's true.
something.
And he's supposed to be back at Easter. So
Okay, right, right,
all right, guys,
right.
we got to wrap it up there. I hope everybody had a great holiday. We will be back next week talking about who knows at this point.
Well, go and watch the damn Black Panther movie.
If I had enough time to go for a 2 hour and 40 minute movie, I would. So
Look, you take that much time out of your crocheting and go and see the movie. Jeez.
we'll come up with something for
Come
next
on,
week.
it's like homework for this show.
I know, but this is going to be. I have my other surgery on Friday, so most of my week is
Okay.
booked up.
Okay, geez. Priorities, Dan.
I know.
Priorities.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great week. We will see you next time on Pop Go the Writers. Take care, everybody.